Mr. Cornette, I just want to say something on about his son, how he says he's this high-paid executive, you know. I used to work at... Are y'all still there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're here.
Y'all just got so quiet.
Unfortunately, he's here, too.
Yeah, okay. I worked there for close to 9 years at Central State, and actually, if I was still there, I would be his boss telling him whose butt to wipe and what pile of crap to go clean up. He is not a high-paid executive.
You got it. You're going to tell my son whose butt to wipe, what pile of poop to clean up, and what urine puddle to mop.
Yeah, and
you got a lot of nerve, Callie Couric, trying to degrade my executive son, the big shot of Central State, just because you were there for goddamn 9 years and couldn't accomplish anything. And you want to drag my son through a pile of shit?
Hey, potty mouth, for one thing, she's right, and for another thing, as a matter of fact, I bet you that not only does he clean up the puddles, but I bet you he brings them home so you can figure out a way to sell them to somebody.
That's right. I would tell him.
Let me tell you something.
He is so crooked. He is such a shyster.
No.
A liar.
I'm going to defend this one.
A carpetbagger. I could go on and on.
I'm going to defend this one. That bag of feces he brought home was from a world-famous criminal who's been all over the news that I knew that I could get a lot of that off eBay and put some money in my son's account that you hadn't been putting in there and trying to screw him out of.
Well,
I was reduced to selling a bag of shit on eBay because he was world-famous murderer, and I know I could make some money off from it, and you want to condemn me for that.
And that story went all around Louisville, Kentucky. When I heard the guy tell me Kenny Boland's down to selling shit, I said, he's been selling shit for 20 years.
You can be a son of a bitch when you want to be, you know it?
Well, I just wanted to explain to
like you had to goddamn bring that up.
Oh, for heaven. Hey, you want to talk about your family criminal history?
I don't particularly do.
Did you know, for example, that his father, Kitty Boland's father, in 1967, was in prison with a Grange Reformatory for cattle wrestling?
He didn't cattle wrestle. He was with the guy that did it. He didn't do it. And my dad only had that cow cut up to bring home 400 pounds of ground beef to feed the family for all the winter and well into the summer. And you want to criticize my dad, Johnny Boland, for going out and feeding us? And you call him a cattle wrestler? Oh, you bastard!
I didn't call him a cattle wrestler. The state of Kentucky called him a cattle wrestler. At least Chris doesn't have to worry
about that. And he served 8 damn years in the penitentiary for it because he tried to feed his family.
Chris doesn't have to worry about his father going to prison for cattle wrestling, though, at least, does he?
No, you wouldn't have to worry about that either. Your dad was one of the biggest names in Louisville. He was a high-paid executive for the Courier-Journal, one of the big shots with the Crusade for Children, one of the big shots with I think, the Louisville newspaper here in town.
You just said the Courier-Journal, you idiot.
Same damn thing.
The Louisville Times also was the other one you forgot because it went out of business 15 years ago.
Yeah, your dad probably had something to do with that.
He was also the president of the Kentucky Press Association, but nevertheless, Chris ain't going to have to worry about his father going to jail for cattle wrestling. He's never going to have to do that because, Kenny, you don't have to worry about feeding your family through the winter with 400 pounds of ground beef. If they got hungry and it was a long, hard winter, you could just lay down on a dinner table and give them a knife and a fork and say, have at it. They'd still be chewing in June.
I hope you die tonight. I hope you die tonight. If that's all you think of me, your best friend, if that's all you think of your best friend, and if that's all you think of your godson, you're lower than a sack of shit sold on eBay.
My best friend, Callie, has Kenny Boland told you the story of how we met?
I don't.
He likes to tell people that we met at the wrestling matches, but that's not true. When I was a teenager, I went to the Oldham County Fair. And while I was there, I went up to one of those booths, you know, where you shoot the water in the clown's mouth?
Yeah.
I went up to one of those booths and I asked the guy, I said, how much is it? He said, 3 shoots for 50 cents. And I stuck my hand in my pocket to draw out my wallet, and I shook hands with Kenny Boland. That's how we met, and it's been to my detriment ever since then. And we were friends. He used me, he abused me, and climbed on top of me, made a reputation and a name off of me.
Wow.
And then when I finally caught on to him, now he started this slander campaign all across America on the internet.
First of all, you ungrateful bastard, your wallet was loose in those skin-tight jeans that you had no business wearing. It was about to squirt out your back pocket, and me being a decent citizen come up to try and catch that wallet before it hit the ground in the dirt.
Yeah.
And it was loaded with a lot of cash that your mom and your dad loaded you up with. There's nothing you ever goddamn worked for. That's for damn sure.
You see how wrapped up he is about money?
Yes, I do.
See how wrapped, because
Well, I don't want to see that much money hit the ground and then nobody get the benefit from it. But I'll let you have it. I gave it back to you.
He's always thinking of a way to get something out of somebody. As a matter, one time I loaned him some money, and he paid me some of it back. This one time I remember, because that's the only time it happened. He gave me $1 bill. Washington's eyes were bloodshot. That's how tight and cheap he is. I've never seen a day that Kenny Boland would pay a debt or a bill or not have something in his mind, some reason, some way to try to con somebody out of something, even if they didn't even have it. He'd give it to him and then con him out of it.
Let me tell you something. If you think for one damn minute, Jimmy or Callie, that I'm going to sit here on my own radio show, when I broke the record with listeners, we logged on today with 103,000 listeners, up from 88,000 listeners from last week, and have you all tear me down, tear down my son, talk bad about me, make shame of me, talk about selling shit on eBay? I don't have to stand for it. And Callie, you owe me an apology. Big man Giovanni up north, you better send me a check, and I better see that goddamn Lincoln in my driveway soon, or I'll never do this radio show again.
Kenny,
All I can say is he had a lot of listeners, Callie, but Adolf Hitler had a few for a while, too, and you see how that turned out.
Yeah, that wasn't too well, was it? Well,
listen, I'm sorry to take up your show, and I'm sorry to run off your guest, but that probably was a favor to you. But I got to run here now also because I pulled over the side of the road. I'm standing here on my cell phone. I'm going to get back on the road now, knowing that at least Kenny Boland won't pollute the airwaves for another week.
Well, we wanted you to have a chance to tell your side and let him know that you weren't going to apologize, and we are very thankful you came on our show. He gets upset like that. He does that, so... But thanks for taking the time out.
Kelly, I appreciate you having me on to set the record straight. I'm just sorry that you have to listen to some of the stuff that Kenny comes up with because, down deep, he's probably not a bad guy, but the problem is you'd have to go so far down deep that you'd never get back out again.
Yeah, well, we hope you all work this out somehow, some way, Jim. We really do. And good luck with your book out there. You want to go ahead and tell people where they can buy that?
JimCornette.com. JimCornette.com. I should have got some plugs in, but I was too busy ranting at him. Midnight Express 25th Anniversary Scrapbook. People are saying it's the best wrestling book ever written. We've been successful so far. And if any of you want to check it out or learn more about me, JimCornette.com is the place to go.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thanks for taking time out for us, and we'll be plugging that for you, and we'll get back with Kenny. He'll calm down.
Yeah, sooner or later he'll calm down. Once he has a meal, and that shouldn't take long, 20 times a day.
He says,
I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Jimmy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.